happening. So Streamer University is finally over. It has completed itself. Yeah, I can move my fingers in VR. I invested on VR gloves and everything like that. So they were cheap. They were on sale because I got them on Black Friday. But anyways, that's a different topic anyways. So apparently Streamer U has finally finished. Everything has wrapped up and everything. My question is, I'm wondering the people who are going to succeed. I'd be curious to see I'd just be very curious to see how they're going to, take the knowledge that they learned from Streamy U and apply it to their actual career. We'll see which ones are the ones that flourishes and which ones the ones that don't. So, anyways. Apparently, we got a video from Omizi, which he's the guy that I've been keeping up with specifically when it comes to Streamer University, saying that Streamer University made me realize how disrespectful streamers are. You don't say, huh?
Streamer University exposed one of the biggest problems in the streaming industry right now. Everyone wants a viral clip, but the easiest clips usually come from embarrassing and disrespectful moments.
How's that teaching us anything?
Y'all out. You're not going in there.
What?
You're not going in there.
Engage with people.
Hey, y'all not going in there.
Why not?
Because you're disrespectful.
She's just flexing on us. She's showing her stats.
Flexing.
Who is
That's
y'all?
a flex.
Flex.
It's showing pedigree. Guys, what you want to do today?
I wanna.
You want to get viewers, you want to stay live, you want to make money. So go do that. You don't got to do it here.
All right.
All right, have a good one.
Hey, just know that these Margellas have a little bit more shine than yours.
I don't a lot of people here. Some people here are too much, bro. They're too much.
And two creators really encapsulate
That's
the issue that I'm
crazy.
talking about. Streamer Payday and the Mighty BA both crossed other creators' boundaries chasing these viral moments. And both went viral, but the completely different conclusions they reached afterwards may determine what kind of career these people have from here. Are these two victims of the entire
Yo, mama be
streaming
disrespecting me
industry
last
and the
night.
thing that plagues it right now as a whole? Are they not understanding the moment? Why do content creators and streamers feel the need to disrespect people in order to get the clip off? And are we about
Because that's the only way to get the clips, because they think that the whole thing, there's no such thing as bad publicity or so, because look, for example, like the career of Logan Paul is still going strong, quotation mark strong. Like the amount of controversy that Logan Paul has been in his career is still alive surprises me to this day, to be honest. It's crazy though. Like, yeah, you guys are like hate watching, right? But you're still giving him views. You're still contributing to his like relevancy. I'm like, at the end of the day, what do you expect? I'm like, I feel like hate watching doesn't really like do anything in my personal opinion. I just feel like you're just wasting your time. I don't watch people like, who I hate. I don't watch Jack Doherty. I don't watch Johnny Somali. I don't watch any of these specific people in general, I'm like, there are people who watch them specifically to update people of what they have done, which is fine. But there are just people who watch yourself for hating in general, and I just feel like that's just a lot worse than somebody who is watching to support them, to be honest, And unfortunately, like, they're trying to get these individuals or so to watch them because that's how they grow, because they clip their stuff out of context, or just clip them, and just post them everywhere and how shitty this person is, and then it drives more people to watch them overall. And that's just kind of like how it is, that's just generally how it is. I don't know, there are people who do it, to be honest. I just don't understand why. And then, the streamers like take advantage of it because they see other streamers pop off because of that specific controversy, I'm like, your good as guess is mine, the reason why some of these people do it, but that's just what these people do when it comes to being disrespectful to other people. They think being disrespectful to other people means they're going to go viral, which, sadly to say, that really is what happens. I'm like, look at Clavicular for the best example, I'm like, man has a career. Like, there are people shit talking about him and whatsoever, but the man still has relevancy. He has a career at the end of the day. So no matter the amount of like, stuff that we talk about him specifically, and I personally disagree with his views, the guy is still popular at the end of the day. So
to see a renaissance in streaming based off of the outcomes of these two creators. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long, long way. Don't disrespect me by not subscribing to the community. Got to 180K. Now let's get to 200. Now, back into—
Hey, I am subscribed, okay? All right? I'm like one of my viewers, you know, recommended me to your channel, okay? Which is a good channel. I actually quite like it, actually, to be honest.
the video. Now, for what it's worth, I think that there was a bunch of disrespectful moments that happened across Streamer University over these past 5 days.
Do it again, it's gonna be a problem.
Don't you ever in your life. Don't you ever.
I stopped doing
Stop
it.
messing with my dean.
Oh my.
She been snitching. She don't tell her nothing. She
No.
been snitching.
Guys, and I just keep.
Oh, so you're a snitch. That you think snitching is funny? A little lesson for you.
Let's go. If you want to round it up, we can round it up. Let me put.
And you're lucky I stopped being on women years ago. Where you going?
Don't worry about it, Toots.
What the fuck?
You do my thing?
Bet. This dude just tried to get me banned.
And while there are a plethora of situations in which we could be talking about in regards to streamers disrespecting other streamers, the place and space that Streamer University was held, et cetera, in order to get a clip, there are two that really stand out to me. The first being this incident where new streamer Payday decided that she was going to yank the leg of experienced streamer Lacey.
I need it. Get out.
Oh yes, I remember this.
Stop. Ow, fuck.
Yeah, really. This shit fucked up.
Fucking retard.
Whew, that is probably one of the
Yikes.
toughest watches I have ever seen. I really felt something in my stomach
Oof.
watching her pull his leg. For context purposes, streamer Lacey had suffered an ACL injury prior to joining Streamer University. During the whole time that he was there, he was in some sort of mobility scooter, either being pushed around by others or on the motorized ones to make his way around campus. During a moment, Lacey and his experienced streamer friend, Your Rage, were horse playing, and Your Rage pulled him out of the wheelchair. This is when Payday decided, hey, I'm gonna get into the act and I'm gonna copy the interaction. I see people beating up on streamer Lacey. I'm gonna go ahead and involve myself. The problem is that she decided that she was
Oh,
going
is it
to
really that bad?
interject
Oof,
and insert
yikes.
herself into a place and space in which she didn't already have prior knowledge or a built-up relationship with a streamer. Now, even without knowing the full extent of the injury, there was really no reason for her to involve herself physically in a moment that was happening between these two. She barely knew Lacey. She saw Your Rage doing something and decided, hey, there's a funny moment here. Let me assume and insert myself and copy what's going on. But just copying the action doesn't mean that you can copy the trust behind it all. So it looked like a playful interaction between friends.
It's mostly just to get a clip in general. That's basically it's what it is. These people have this mindset or so of like, what can I do to get a viral clip to become popular? Because they have this mindset or so that if they get this viral clip, they're going to explode, you know? And
I hope this gets shut down before anyone dies.
you're gonna have to wait. In 2027 it's gonna be coming out, so fuck, man. I looked it up and he tore his ligament in his knee. Fuck, dude, don't remind me that, actually. Ugh, because I've had, like, you know, knee injuries in the past. So especially when I used to play football with the team in general. You know, we did win the game though, but unfortunately I couldn't continue anymore, unfortunately. So that ended my fun activity with football at the end of the day. So that's where I am now today, is, well, you know. But anyways, besides the note on that, yeah, like, no, it's like they have this specific mindset or so of to clip farm, basically, to have this viral clip to become popular or explode in popularity, you know. It's instead of like just trying to put in the work or so. Like Ludwig said specifically, because I did watch Ludwig's class in general about his stuff of like what makes YouTube or so, and how to actually be a successful person is because of the YouTube side of things, to make videos, you know, and have a game plan and everything like that.
immediately felt like this invasive moment when it came from someone that Lacey barely knew. Now, I'll say this, accidents do happen, and I don't think it would be the biggest deal in the world. Hey, I see you guys being playful. I want to go ahead and insert myself. I made some sort of mistake because I didn't really realize what was going on, and I went a little too far. Granted, people had to physically pull her off of him instead of her heeding the warnings of, hey, ow, ow, this does hurt. But nonetheless, accidents can happen. The real problem comes in the interactions that happen afterward. This is her attempt to address the situation at hand.
But like, what did I do? I didn't really do nothing. And if I really did something, it would be something that would be said and everybody would hate, but like, everybody don't hate on me.
The streamer Payday maintained that she did nothing wrong. She judged the situation entirely by her intention. And she felt that because she did not mean to intentionally hurt Lacey, that the audience should not treat this as some sort of serious moment. And I can see why she felt like that. We'll get into it a little bit later in the video, but she ultimately felt as though she was entitled to enter this situation, you know, put hands on Lacey without understanding the full context. But the problem is that intent does not erase the fact that she touched an injured person without permission. Lacey and the audience at large saw someone ignoring an obvious physical boundary, and instead of acknowledging that difference, Payday immediately became defensive. And I think what made the situation look worse for Payday is what follows. Your rage, somebody who is a friend and knows Lacey, who's also involved in the incident, goes up to him and apologizes and makes sure that he's okay.
I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, you're good.
Are you good?
Yes,
I'm so
good.
sorry. I feel
Bro,
so bad.
You didn't do anything.
I feel so bad, bro.
I've been getting people, guys throwing me out of my wheelchair 4 times. It's true. Like, that's like, every time it's happened, I made sure to step on my right foot.
I couldn't go to bed. I feel so sorry, bro.
You're good,
I didn't know you got hurt after, bro.
Good,
I'm sorry, bro.
Despite knowing Lacey personally, he decided that he was going to apologize because even he, as somebody who is a friend, who knew about the injury, can also understand that sometimes things can go a little bit too far.
Yeah.
He really didn't need to agree that the moment was extremely serious to recognize that Lacey was in uncomfortable and in excruciating pain. This is somebody who was permitted to joke with Lacey in this moment, and he showed more accountability than Payday did. This demonstrates that the issue was not simply people failing to understand a joke, but it was Payday refusing to accept that the joke was not hers to make. But the worst of it all is that after the chat truly just lays into her, after people are telling herself about what she did, she finally decides to go over and give some sort of apology. But this apology is only going to reveal what she is most concerned about. And heads up, it's not Lacey's health, safety, and well-being.
One of them.
You're right, but you have an influence.
You can go back in the VOD.
But you can say something
okay, and
to
guess
have
what
an
I did say?
influence.
Guess what I did say? I said, guys, don't send her hate. She didn't know. That's what I said.
But
So-
you continue to talk about it,
Yo,
and then
you-
when I come
yo,
over
you
here,
you have no brain. Your brain is gone. Oh my
Okay.
God.
all right.
The streamer did come over to apologize, but her apology came with a bunch of explanations, complaints, and more importantly, conditions. She focused heavily on the hate and the criticism that she was receiving.
She could have just said, "Hey, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know you had a leg injury and everything like that. I just saw like, he was messing with you, and I wanted to take the opportunity to, get a clip or something. Didn't mean to come. I didn't know you were, injured." And that's kind of like basically it. You could have just said like, "My bad. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were injured. I didn't mean to pull on your leg on like bad unconsciousness or anything like that." Instead of just like focusing on the hate that you're receiving or so, you could have just said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to," you know?
From the different communities that saw this.
Remember, common sense is not very common in the Western, okay? In the Western society, it's not a common thing, okay? All right?
She was willing to apologize, but that's if Lacey would, not
It's not
continue to
very
drag
common.
the situation because she was being hate farmed. She wanted him to step in and control the audience, and that was the most important portion to her. Literally, that shifted the focus away from what happened to Lacey and towards what's happening to her and her reputation. The apology appeared designed to stop the negative attention rather than to understand why the incident was wrong in the first place. She placed part of the responsibility of repairing her image onto the person she had ultimately disrespected. Do we understand the pattern here. She felt as though she could disrespect somebody and it would lead to some sort of banger clip. And now that she has to sit in what she made, she can't handle it. And she wants somebody else to come and clean up her mess. Hell, she almost feels even entitled to this. I know in the back of her mind, she's thinking to herself, I've seen other people do this before. Why am I getting so much backlash for it? Now on this channel, we're about pattern recognition. We don't take these isolated incidents and make judgment calls. But before Payday could even conceivingly resolve this issue with Lacey, another clip showed that the problem was larger than just one misunderstood joke.
Oh, she's fucked. She's fucked. She's fucked.
Now, I don't think that there's any real way around it. Joke or not, spitting in someone's face, especially not water, is flat out disrespectful.
That's
and it seems as though Suburb Baby and
crazy to
Payday
do that.
didn't have some sort of relationship where this would be okay to assume that he would be comfortable with it. It's not like they were in the middle of some sort of big water fight or anything like that. Once again, another person's discomfort becomes the content. The moment was easy to clip because it had some sort of immediate action, reaction, and conflict. But the clip did not reveal Payday's creativity or personality. It only reinforced the image that she created by the Lacey incident. And instead of feeling like one bad decision, it now looked like a repeated approach to making content.
I'm not gonna apologize no more after this though. It is what it is.
Fuck who don't fuck with her.
Rage had pulled Lacey out of his wheelchair, and I was like jokingly like, oh, let me take this nigga's shoe. And I guess I was like hurting him. So I'm just apologizing because I didn't mean to. But I honestly thought like.
I mean, they've been throwing him out that wheelchair, running around with his wheelchair, like.
That's what I'm saying. It's been like that this whole time.
This right here to me exemplifies the whole disrespectful streamer issue that is plaguing streaming world right now. For what it's worth, Payday got the attention that she was looking for, but almost all the attention became attached with moments where someone else was looking disrespected. Her apologies focused more on stopping the backlash rather than changing the behavior. She appeared to be leaving Streamer University, believing the audience's reaction was larger than the problem. The only reason why she did that is because she never questioned the mentality behind her incidents. Viewers had little to no reason to believe that it would never happen again, solely because there wasn't another storyline or anything else that she was involved in. It was just, hey, another person thinking that disrespect is some form of content. Her biggest mistake was not simply crossing the line, but it was refusing to consider why she kept doing it. When we talk about continual line crossers, there's no person better to look for than the mighty BA.
See, bro, you like Pokemon?
Yeah, I love Pokemon.
Bro, hold on. No. Yo! That's an SIR! That's an SIR! That's a big hit! No, you're bending it!
No.
You're bending, no. That's an SIR! No. What are you doing?
What did I do?
Why would you bend this card?
Is that bad?
What are you doing?
I didn't know that's bad.
He bent the Jolteon SIR!
So, is that bad?
Yes, bro!
What does that do?
You can't hit this card, it's impossible to hit.
Sorry. I'll give you another one. Here, you can take mine. Because that was low-key your Jolteon because I grabbed it off your bed. I'll give you my Pokemon. How about that?
Oh, that's nah, dude, that's too far, bro. Nah, dude, that's not cool whatsoever, dude. That is like he's like, yeah, you can have mine or so. That doesn't matter, dude. That really doesn't matter, dude. Oh, dude, that's crazy, man. Nah, that's fucked up, bro. That's hella fucked up, to be honest. That's just nah, dude. I would never do anything like that. Even for a clip or anything like that, I wouldn't do anything like that. Bet your sis will go crazy too. Nah, she probably would be upset. No, she'd probably be the same as this person, would be upset and crying.
You just ripped like a $300 card.
Oh God, that was $300?
Wallahi.
This $300 Pokemon card that belonged to his roommate would set off a chain reaction of...
Oh, it belonged to his roommate? Oh, that's fucked up. Nah, dude. Nah, that's hella, nah, dude, that's hella gay. Dude, that's wild to hear that. Nah, dude, that is so stupid, dude. I would have thrown hands immediately for that one, dude.
5 days worth of events and clips of disrespect towards other content creators by the Mighty BA. But what's really interesting about this clip and the others that will be shown is that if you look closely enough, the Mighty BA is genuinely confused as to why Keem and the audience decided to treat this incident so seriously. From his perspective, he thought that ripping up this Pokemon card made some sort of memorable reaction. But from Keem's perspective, someone destroyed property without permission.
Yeah, exactly.
And that makes sense to a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was. I think the financial value of the card made the incident worse, but the bigger picture is that even if it was a cheaper card, why would you still destroy somebody else's property in an attempt to
That's the funny thing about it. He destroyed someone else's property. That's the thing, you know. It's what happens. What happens if they destroy someone, you know, your friend's property, you know, or you know.
some sort of content? Only once he learned the value of the card did BA try to rectify the situation. But much like Payday's first apology showed that he believed that the backlash was more unreasonable than his behavior.
For everybody from the Pokemon community and getting mad at me for ripping a Pokemon card in half, what I will say is I am sorry for wasting the money that it had, but I did not know that it was worth $300, and if you were hating, fuck you.
He still don't get it, y'all.
You go back or so. You go back. You see, even you see Ludwig's face is like, man, you cannot be serious. This guy's face is like, really? Really? Is that what you decide to do? This guy over here pointing at him specifically. If my friend carelessly destroyed something that belonged to me, that's a burnt bridge. Dude, all these guys are just like literally just straight up like, dude. It's like, really, dude? Really? They're like all really just like just staring at this guy of like, what a joke this guy is, dude. You just can't, like, I'm just looking at these guys' facial reaction towards this clip, and I swear to God, it's so funny to look at it.
Fuck you.
He still don't get it, y'all. Now, naturally, the fuck you weakens the apology, but whether the card was $3, $300, or $3,000,
It had sentimental
there's another way to
value.
go about making content other than ripping up somebody's property
Yeah.
or destroying what they value. And at this point, the Mighty BA is looking at the situation and measuring the incident by how it would make him more viral.
It's because
rather
they literally think that being disrespectful towards someone else because they want to cause drama, controversy to get that viral clip will make them popular. That's what they think. That's how they think. That's how content brain rotted they are. That's the sad thing about it, and that's the reality, unfortunately, for streamers in this today and age of climate, you know? I'm like, how am I gonna get that next viral clip or so? You know, oh, let me just like be disrespectful to get this like cool clip, you know? That's kind of like basically it, you know? That's kind of like the way to grow, question mark. I guess in this today and age, because look at Clavicular for the best example, you know?
the boundary. that it
Johnny
would cross.
Somali
Now,
as
remember when
well,
I
you
said I'm
know?
a pattern recognition guy? It'd be one thing if he left it at that and learned from the behavior. But later on during the Streamer University stint that BA and Keem had, he kept pressing the boundaries to the tune of Keem having to put him in his place on stream.
Yeah, stop getting baited, bro. Stop it, Keem.
Wait, did he rip a hollow?
Yo, I love you, Keem.
Oh, wait.
Wait. Are you okay?
On some non-content shit, bro. On some non-content shit, don't ever fucking pat my head again. Okay? I'm fucking sick and tired of bullshit, bro.
I got you.
Pat my head again. I'm not your fucking son, alright, bitch?
Yeah, I got you.
Pat my head again, you fucking bitch, alright?
Yeah.
Don't fucking touch my head again like that.
I got you.
That's disrespectful.
Ooh, it hella escalated to that. I don't blame him crashing out on him, to be frankly honest. I really don't. I really do not blame him crashing on it. He got disrespected, so what do you expect?
Respectful. Don't fucking disrespect me. On some no content shit. Don't disrespect me.
So the tension is already created between Keem and BA, and instead
That
of
Jolteon is from one of the sets that has notoriously had a bad rate too. It's a set with the Moon Umbreon. Ah, I see.
saying to himself, you know what, there's probably a different way for me to make content. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. No, he decided to continue to press the issue and head tap him and continuously rub his head after being told not to. Instead of respecting that boundary, BA continued to push and push and push until ultimately he broke. He wasn't just simply failing to read the room, but he was using the discomfort in the room as some sort of content. What makes the Mighty BA situation so tough to me is because, for what it's worth, when you looked at his Stream University audition, he seemed to be somebody who was bright, bubbling, and up and coming, but most importantly, creative.
Yo, Kai. Don't accept me into Streaming University. I have 200 followers. I average 5 viewers. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I stream from the middle of nowhere. I'm a nobody.
Is what I would say if I didn't know who I was.
Let me tell you who I am. I love streaming. Streaming brings me joy. Every time I hit start streaming, I feel like I have a second family. Streaming gives me freedom. It lets me unite with people. It lets me dream. I don't believe in the word impossible. They all say it's impossible until someone does it. So maybe the kid who averages 5 viewers with 200 followers and grew up in the middle of nowhere is the one you'll accept. It's possible, and I guess that's time.
But it seems as though he had ditched that creative personality and persona in order to chase the disrespectful clip farming game. The why we can only ponder, but we'll speak to in a minute. But the results of it all ultimately showed that it's probably not the best
I
route.
still personally think it's like a facade or so. He just kind of like, because at the end of the day, he's putting on an application, right? So that means he's giving like, he's putting on a persona to get accepted into streamer, university, you know? Plus the dude that is messing with the kindest person at streamer you. Oh, so you're telling me that the guy that was like, upset about the Pokemon Ripped or so is one of the nicest dudes at streamer you? Okay. Yeah, that's kind of pretty shitty to be taking advantage over that guy, to be honest. Bro thinks about himself so much he didn't even thought about the effects of his actions. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, he's basically like applying to a job, right? You're kind of gonna be lying most of the time when you're applying to something to make yourself look good. I don't really trust that video to make me think that like he is this great creative content guy, just because it's just one single vid. I would have to see like his entire Vods or so to find out like what kind of guy he is.
His confrontational, disrespectful antics didn't just stay in his room. It also followed him into the classroom.
Yes, I looked through all your channels.
Okay, tell me the last thing I posted.
The Mighty BA, you posted your first video. It's pathetic. It's an embarrassment. It's called I Played Fortnite with a Transgender. It has 3
I remember this. I remember this clip.
First video. Hey! I don't want to hear you speak up one more time in class or you're out. I'm being serious.
And mind you, Ludwig was awarded the best professor at Streamer University, and he was trying to give a true and wholesome lesson.
I will be honest with you, as much if you don't like Ludwig or if you hate Ludwig, you cannot disagree that the information that he brought into his class was probably the most vital, most professional type of way I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he knows his shit at the end of the day. Granted, he has been in the scene for quite some time, and he tried to bestow knowledge to everybody. And for those who don't want to take the knowledge, well, you're just going to be in the same place where you're at. And the people who do want to and want to actually grow and everything like that, you should probably look at his VODs in general. You should probably be looking at some of these teachers' VODs and take notes and everything and learn to be able to grow as a content creator, to be honest. Yeah, no, he definitely did. He definitely has dropped quite a lot of good, as much as you hate him or love him or so, man did actually brought in the information onto the table, and I give him respect for that. I don't hate the guy. I respect him at the end of the day, so.
some lesson. Challenged by the mighty BA, he retorted in a way
I
that
disagree with a
was
lot of his
shit
things, of
embarrassing him.
course,
And
but you
ultimately, I
know,
think the mighty
it's
BA
agree to
thought that
disagree
he
at the
was
end of the
trying
day.
to catch Ludwig lying and get some sort of clip off that would make him look better, but ultimately, it made him look worse at the end of it all. Not only did you have a dog shit video as your first video, but then you ultimately tried to make this confrontation into some sort of content, and it flipped back on you. This clip to me revealed that BA was eager to create moments, but had not developed a clear routine or creative identity. He relied on other people's reactions because his own ideas were not strong enough to carry the moment. But when the reaction is built around provoking someone else, eventually other people will control the clip. Now, for most of Streamer University, BA responded to this stuff by trying to be defensive. But I think after all of these incidences and the reputation that was bubbling up and building online, he finally stopped asking why everyone hated him and started looking inward.
How's today been? Rough?
The past 4 days been kind of rough.
This whole event's been pretty rough, right?
Really, it has.
What has made it difficult? I'm sure your expectations coming in were a lot different than what you actually experienced.
What made it difficult was my actions, actually. That's what made it difficult.
So, like, how do you feel? Like, what are you gonna take away? What's your plan now?
What's my plan from here is to flip it and to not do the things that I did. You know, the biggest thing that I realized was like, I didn't fully know these people to do the things that I did. That was the biggest problem.
BA openly acknowledging that these actions that he did over the past 4 or 5 days ruined his Streamer University experience is very, very telling.
You don't say. Doing things to other random people, to not do it to your, you know, you do it to your homeboys, but doing it to random people and they don't react the same way as your homeboys? So, wow, shocker.
He's recognizing in real time that he'd become too eager to make some sort of content at the expense of others, and he's seeing that it's backfiring on him. Not only was the community at large not on his side, but he also realized that, hey, I might need these people later on, so why would I build some sort of reputation as being somebody who is a dickhead, who doesn't really give a shit? But herein lies the bigger issue in conversation. Payday, BA, and whoever else at the Streamer University that went about this disrespectful route when it came to creating content expose the larger problem about disrespectful clip farming. Streamers today seemingly lean into that disrespect to chase the moment and the clip and the people. And I think that people have been ignoring it for way too long.
Drama. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Drama doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but Rakai's he's a beast at farming drama. And you know, he's young, so like he just brushes it all off. But if your appeal is drama, people watch you because you're high risk and funny. Now, if you're high risk and unfunny, you're cooked. You're just a guy that people don't like, and we know examples of that. But if you're funny enough, you could actually pull off the high risk stuff and get away with it. Rakai has been on a generational run. I don't even know if he knows sometimes how he be making elite level decisions and just barely getting away with it. I'd seen a fucking crazy clip yesterday that could have went really bad, but he just keeps getting away with it. But it's because he's really, really funny. I'm telling you right now, bro, you could actually be the most evil person possible, but if people think you're funny enough, they will let it slide. And the opposite is true. You could be the most innocent person possible, but if people don't like you, then you're cooked. You're gonna form the bad clip, gang.
I find it very, very telling that in a place and space where you are having the biggest improv collective known to man on one campus, where you have pretty much limitless opportunities, time, and space to get off whatever skit, build whatever storyline, or do whatever you needed to do, streamers decided to turn to the disrespect route. I think the reason why is because the disrespect is a go-to for the most eager streamers. It's easy. It's simple. A normal conversation.
Yeah, it's like the most easiest thing you can do. I can do the same thing too, you know? Anyone can do it, to be honest. That's like the easy way to become, quotation marks, I guess you can say, famous. This is wild. You only need one brain cell to do that? Yeah. It is true. We have some fandoms makes excuses for the person they love. Yeah, that's the sad thing about it, unfortunately, which is kind of shitty in my personal opinion. I don't know, it's kind of wild to be seeing what I'm seeing today.
generally doesn't go viral. Hell, they know what is on their timeline. Confrontation creates a clear emotional reaction. When you go on these clipping pages like Beard Buck or Kick Champs or whoever, you see what is getting the most views. Destroying something, insulting someone, invading their spaces creates an immediate beginning of conflict and some sort of payoff. Clip pages put these captions together that clearly make a villain and they create a victim, and then they get sent to the moon. And when these new streamers see those views goes up, they see that as some sort of attention without needing to develop a format, a story, or any sort of personality. This is what makes disrespect feel like the fastest path for inexperienced streamers. Another person may pay the emotional or physical cost while the creator receives the views. And every creator thinks they are funny or charming enough to get away with it. That point that Agent said, you can only do this if you are extremely funny, is probably the most misinterpreted point in his whole correct monologue about this. But the problem is that these content creators up and coming are seeing these clips that are going viral and taking the context out of all of it. What makes this moment okay for this person to do with that person?
You don't know everybody here, and you don't know what makes it. Like with AMP, like we know each other so well now, I know what not to say with who, right? If I call Kai pussy, he's not gonna care. He doesn't care about that. If you call Phantom pussy, he gets offended.
Of course,
If I call AIM a bitch, he's not gonna care. If I call Mark from RDC a bitch, he gets offended by that. You have to know your personnel. You gotta know your friends. You gotta know what you can say and can't say. The thing about Stream University is
it's called having filters with certain individuals and certain group of people of friends. You have different filters for different people. It's the same thing with Sage. I can banter talk, we can shit talk each other as much as we want because we're really that close with each other and we don't really care. If I try to do the same fucking attitude that I do with Sage to my VTuber friends aren't probably gonna like me, to be honest. I'm just saying. Until I get to the level of like where Sage is at, where I can like say, you know, you're a bitch, you're a cunt, or something, you know, or whatever, you know, whatever other shit, and then they say the same thing back at me, and we personally don't care, that's how you know how close we are, you know? You don't do this to random people. You really don't. Especially when you're going to Streamer University, you don't know anybody there, you know? So it's like, why would you do the same antics that you do with your friends when you're at home streaming with like new random people at a Streamer University? Number one, they're all streamers, right? I'm like, I feel like when you're going to Streamer University, you want to network with the people there so you can grow, you know? Instead of trying to farm this like weird hate clip or disrespectful clip to become famous, you know? Even though it's a school setting, they have to think if it's as like being in an office at work, because at the end of the day, streaming is their job. Yeah, that's, you know, that's the end of the day. They want to have this as either a job, a career, or be able to earn money to some degree, or pedicure to a degree, you know, or become famous, you know. So
know everybody here. You might have accidentally done something that offended somebody.
Smaller creators watch established ones make these moments with friends, with people that they've built relationships with people that they've probably had conversations with about if this thing is okay. They see Rage pulling Lacey out of the scooter or creators insulting each other, and they copy that action because of the virality of it all, but they don't understand that there's some sort of relationship behind it. Established creators have years of trial and error, trust, communication, things they've done behind closed doors that they will never tell, to make the understanding find that, hey, I'm okay with this, but not okay with that. And for the most part, the audience also understands that dynamic a little bit, but when a new creator copies that same action, it doesn't feel playful. It honestly feels invasive because the trust isn't established at all.
I think a really common issue with clip culture is that people see clips of people acting maybe how Ron is, but you have to understand Ron and Kai know each other and they both know that this is a joke. That does not mean that you can interact with a stranger or another streamer that you don't personally know with that same energy. I feel like there is so much clip farming that happens towards other people where you need to understand banter only works between friends.
Exactly.
You see Ray and Cinna, like, you know, shoot shots at each other all the time.
Yeah.
That's because they know each other and
Yeah.
they both know that they're joking. It's funny to one another and it's
Exactly.
funny to the audiences. If you go to Cinna and you just start insulting her out of nowhere, that's just rude.
Yeah.
That's not funny. She
Yeah.
doesn't know you. She doesn't know whether you mean it in a good way or bad way. She doesn't know what your intentions are. So I think maybe someone should do a class on that. Because I feel like we have normalized like clip farming to an extent where it gives people an excuse to just be mean.
It's not even just that, it's just common sense. Like, for God's sakes, you don't even need a class. You really don't need a class for this. It's just common sense. You don't do this to like random other streamers whatsoever. You just kind of like, you only do that to your friends, your friend group, your specific friend group that you've known for years together. You do these kind of things. You don't do this to random other people, okay? That's just how it is, you know? I'm like, love her or hate her or whatnot. She's right. She's 100% correct at the end of the day, It's just kind of like, that's just how it works. Banter only works with friends. They don't work with like, they don't work with if I do, let's say, for example, someone in chat or so, I start talking the same way I usually do with my friend Sage or so. I do the same thing with you, and you're just kind of like weirded out because because you're just kind of like, whoa, it's kind of like disrespectful. Why are you talking to me like this? That's just not how it works. Common sense ain't common. That is very true. It is very uncommon for people to have common sense in the Western society. Okay, all right. That's all I have to say about that, okay? Apparently there are some people who don't understand when I say Westerners, or like Western, or just generally just Western at all. I'm like, I don't really know, to be honest. There's some people that don't understand it. Apparently there's some people in the comment section on a specific video where I literally said that I love Mexican TikTok over Western TikTok. Or Westerners in general. I don't know. There's just some people who don't seem to understand. So, but I digress. That's a different topic anyways for another day.
For no reason.
So then you get into a situation like Streamer University where there's a room full of creators competing for these clips that they know will go viral. So now it's like a lighter next to gasoline. One disrespect started going viral and everyone had a reason to escalate.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm about to go see, I was about to go to the guidance counselor.
I bet, let's go.
Okay, but I don't know where
Why do
he's
you
at.
need counseling? Because I'm having a bad fucking day.
Yeah, I'm
buddy.
having a terrible day too.
How about worry about your own fucking problems?
Guys, come on, don't fight.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
How about worry about your own problems,
I'll
buddy?
make you look stupid on this campus.
I don't give a fuck. All day I've been made stupid. I'm made to look stupid. All
Okay,
fucking day.
dude,
Add on top of it. Add on top of it. I don't care anymore, bro. What are you gonna do? Spit in my face? Do it.
No.
I've been getting spit on every fucking all day of the hour.
Where's the counselor at? You know where he's at or no?
No.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Bro, are you actually dead ass right now? Are you actually dead ass?
He'll figure it out.
Are you actually dead ass, bro?
What are you gonna do?
No, like, why are you acting like that towards me? Don't fuck with me right now. Like, I'm trying to be nice to you. Like, we're friends. Don't even, no.
No, chat, yes, dead ass. This shit's real life. Like, niggas talking about I'm gonna bring my shooters. I'm like, bro, nigga, we're content creators. What the fuck happened? It don't make no sense. I'm like, bro, we're all content creators. Nigga, we upload on YouTube, stream on YouTube, bro. We're not supposed to be no gangster shit.
Students watch these confrontational moments receive attention almost immediately. Think about it this way. You're a new up-and-coming creator. You don't know what to do. So if I disrespect Duke Dennis, Feared Buck is going to pick it up. And then after that, maybe Kick Champs picks it up. And then maybe after seeing multiple million view clips, a commentary channel like Cameron or Novely or Omizi or DH is going to pick me up and make an entire 16-minute video about me. And then people are going to react to that 16-minute video. And now we're in this endless cycle. The goal is no longer to create the best moment, but let me get a viral clip on top of a viral clip. Everyone begins interrupting the same creators, invading the same spaces, or escalating the same jokes. Hey, this worked on Ben the Don. Let me also do it because I know it works. People stopped approaching these established creators as potential collaborators, and they began approaching them as possible clips. But while everyone was chasing the next viral moment in it all, they were ignoring the much bigger picture and opportunity opportunity that was right in front of them.
I'm warning a lot of people. In my opinion, I feel like I'm going to expel somebody today. I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm going to expel somebody today because I have to now set an example to make people understand that there's a difference between making content and then disrespecting.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So last night I kind of felt disrespected because I was honestly just trying to diffuse a lot of the situations. Yeah, I don't ever try to be, the bad person to slow down everybody, what they got going on, but I got shot in the eye yesterday, bro. After I got shot in my eye, I'm gonna talk to Braden today, bro. I got shot in the eye. Nobody said sorry. Nobody said nothing. Nobody did anything.
Tyson began
No,
to
you should really like set an example to some of these people because the way how this is an opportunity, and there are a lot of people out there who would have loved to had this opportunity, but some of these people are really taking it for granted. And I'll be honest with you, they should probably just, get expelled. Simple as fact, to be honest. I'm like, he should really start expelling people and put them as an example or so. You fuck around and you find out, very simple. I'm just
feel like
saying.
certain streamers and certain students were taking this situation for granted. This mattered because Stream University gave students the access to the most developed creators that they'll probably never receive again. They had professors, collaborators, viewers, large streamers surrounding them. And instead of, making storylines, being creative and funny, trying to add to the moment and build a sustaining audience afterwards, some students reduced the opportunity to finding the fastest way to provoke somebody bigger than them. And this is why this whole situation is short-sighted. They could gain one viral clip while losing dozens of future collaborators. The short-term attention damaged the exact relationships Streamer University was supposed to help build. The Payday and Mighty BA situation that happened at Streamer University encapsulates a bigger problem in the streaming culture. The university gave them the opportunity to introduce themselves to a massive audience. Both chose disrespect as the fastest way to create attention, and technically it worked. They went viral, people discussed them, people learned their names, they got the videos, they got the clips, they got all this. People are talking about them to an extent. But the clips also revealed the weakness in building a career around other people's interactions. Payday ended her Streamer University experience appearing more concerned about the backlash and the behavior that created. And now she's gonna spend time at home that she could have been developing storylines that she had built on campus, defending her honor and her name, and may ultimately be reduced to the girl who pulled Lacey's leg. The Mighty BA spent most of his time at Streamer University making the same mistake, but eventually admitted that his own mentality may have ruined the opportunity. Now, this doesn't guarantee that BA will change, and it also doesn't mean that Payday can never change. But the current conclusions give us a preview of where their careers could go. Now, I don't know how we solve the disrespect issue that's going on in streaming, because for the most part, we're at a place in space where everybody should know that, hey, it's okay for this person to do it. It's probably not okay if you do it because there's a gap there. We just don't know each other. And I don't know how many commentary videos I can make or others can make to let people know that the life of being a nuisance or disrespectful streamer is not one that you want to live. It can actually land you not just on my channel, but in jail. But all in all, if I had to give a word of advice to these content creators that are up and coming, is that disrespect is not a career. It's not something that provides longevity. It's not something that I would hitch my wagon to, because ultimately you get lost in the sauce and you no longer become this person's name. You no longer become the Mighty BA. You no longer become Payday. You ultimately become the girl who pulled Lacey's leg or the guy who ripped up the card. And once you get boxed in like that, I think it'll be damn near impossible to come up out of.
Yeah, that becomes that basically becomes your legacy at the end of the day. Yeah. I'm like, it's very interesting to be seeing this personally, and it's just kind of like, wow. What an interesting video, to be honest. Yeah, there are a lot of like disrespectful like streamers out there now in today's day and age. You can end up like Chud the Builder locked up. Yeah, you could walk down that path or so and ruin your career and your life, if you keep going that way, But the question is like, we'll see what happens, but to be honest, there's some grown-ass kids pulling the leg of someone in a wheelchair is crazy. Work, no situational awareness. It's not even streaming shit. This shit is just basic social skills. That is very true. Like that, like I said, this is just common. It's just common knowledge, but for some apparent reason, there are people who don't have common knowledge. It's just kind of like, I'm like, you're meeting a stranger, right? You're meeting these big content creators, right? And they're passing down, because at the end of the day, right, these streamers aren't going to last forever, right? These famous streamers, and I assume the next generation of streamers will be coming up and whatnot, but it's kind of like they're passing down like wisdom and like advices and like things that, you know, if you want to still chase this career overall, they pass you down this knowledge for you to take it and learn and be able to grow from it. But unfortunately, some of these people don't do it. So I don't know. It's just kind of wild to see that common sense is just like, at the end of the day, it's just thrown out the window. And it should just prove as well that, like, you know, there are just some things that they need to be held accountable. And well, unfortunately, most of them don't like to be held accountable, sadly. But I digress. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. And yeah, honestly, kind of funny. Personally, it's pretty hilarious to be seeing, you know, all of this overall, to see back here and be like, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, there is a weird side to streamers that they think that this is the best way to become the next popular streamer now in this day and age. Some people think they can't get touched when they have a camera out. Some people will not care and will take your life if you keep messing with them. Yeah, eventually you're gonna mess with the wrong person and you're going to regret it in the worst way possible, to be honest. That's how I'm thinking personally. So I don't know. It's just weird personally, but anyways, that's the end of the video. And yeah, crazy. That is the end of Streamer U, and peace.